Alright, welcome to our next episode. And today's episode is how to deal with losing. Um, as you can see, I have the subtitle basically for this topic as pain also. Losing is pretty painful at the beginning of your journey, right? It's the thing you do not want to do and try to just don't be a loser, I guess. But there's no way of dodging that, right? You have to go through it. Because in the last episodes, this will probably one of the videos I put first, but in the last episode of a trader's mindset, you probably learned that losing is a part. And how do you deal with it? Losing is painful, and you will try pretty much at the beginning of everything to not lose. You will try to find ways on your strategy, maybe change your strategy because you lost a trade and you did this a little bit different, but it's still your edge, and you try to change that. You just try to adjust, and think it's you're losing because of your edge about of your strategy. And this is not true. You are not losing because of your strategy. You are you are basically losing because of your strategy, but you are not profitable because of your mind. And yeah, losing is the hardest part in trading. Everybody can win. I always say you have to be a great loser, not a great winner, to be a good trader. So how do you deal with losses? Yeah. So first of all, what you perceive in a market information is painful in some way. Then you will naturally try to avoid that pain by either consciously or subconsciously blocking that information from your awareness. Yes, if you think the market is scary, you are not focused. You are not focused at all on the market. You do not really think about the risk that you put into the trade. You don't even think about, is this a good trade setup for my strategy, or is it just a bad trade setup that I shouldn't take? You do not consider the market information pretty much that's giving you, like, is this like really high volatility? Are there news? This and this and this. You really think too much about it, which is kind of good, but not from a state of fear. And the market is not threatening. The market information is not a threatening thing to you, right? The market has no emotions, and you only find it that way because you yourself are in an emotional state of mind. And in the following, I'm going to explain how you are trying to avoid that feeling in your mind, right? In your emotional mind. So, second, you will cut yourself off from any number of opportunities to enrich yourself. Simple as that. You feel pain in the market when you have a setup, and let's say you're on a losing streak, you are scared of taking another trade. Even if it's your edge, it's a perfect edge, you are focused and you still are fearful to take that edge. And when you take the trade, you maybe didn't risk the amount you should have. You're thinking like, okay, I'm kind of scared, I don't know, and I'm gonna like only put half of the risk I normally put into that trade, or you will move your stop loss, or you will move your take profits. You just don't really trade based on your edge anymore, on your strategy that is profitable and consistent. You fall into this inconsistent trading mindset out of fear. You probably don't even take the trades if you feel like that. And if you take the trades, then this is basically what will happen, what I just explained. So this is a trading error that is pretty hard to deal with, because how do you just not be scared of losing money? It's confidence. It's confidence. You have to be confident in your edge. You have to really believe that your edge is profitable, and not just on a like delusional state of mind, you also have to backtest it, do data about it, journal everything, and you will have your proof that your edge is profitable and successful over amount of time. And with that always being in your mind, you don't really care about it, right? Because if you lose, you are looking for a next trade to be a winner because you lost and you have a good edge, right? So you should be happy to take another trade and not scared. You should be happy that you have an opportunity to play out your edge and not the opportunity to make money or lose money. So don't think about the money. Um, just don't. I mean, it can happen to every trader, okay? You're not a loser if you ever blew an account or something like that. If you blow account like over trading errors, then it just, you're not ready. That's fine. But if you think you're profitable and you are scared of taking the trade because you're on a losing streak, um, I mean, it's nothing wrong with losing an account or anything else. If you, of course, the account is gone then, but you still did the best. You still did what you need to do as a trainer. Everybody can have a really painful losing streak, and that's completely fine. And to kind of prevent from losing accounts, I was telling this like kind of a flaw, but it also depends on your state of your account. When I'm like 4% down on a funded account and like 5% is the drawdown, I won't put my last trade on like 1%, right? I will put like at least 0.5% on it. This is a scenario where you can adjust your risk, right? Because you are consistent, and the less risk you do, the more trades you have, and the more consistent the outcome is going to be, and the less risk you put in, obviously. But if you like normal, if you just have a losing streak, you're fine, or you're on a live account, and then you're like scared. This should not happen. Yeah, just don't think about the money aspect and think about what the profitable trader would do. And yeah, I'm pretty sure that you will do the right thing and still take the trade like you should. And only need to adjust the risk when you need to adjust it. So, moving on to the next point. Pain, fear, and terror is completely self-generated. This is what I'm saying. The market do not perceive any threatening or painful information to you, right? The market has no emotions. You only find it that way because you are self-aware of that. You are self-manipulating yourself by being emotional and having fear, anxiety, and thinking about what if this, what if this. Just turn off your brain. Just basically turn off your brain. Keep it simple. Don't overcomplicate it. If this happens, you act like you act like you can do something, right? You act like you have some way of power in the market. You can't control it. So don't act like you can control it, you know? And if you have the feeling that you can't control the market does what it wants and it doesn't give a fuck about you. If you have that in your mind, there's no point of being emotional attached to it, right? I was giving the example in my trading mindset video and the last one, and on part three, it's like a wife, okay, or like a hot girl, right? A hot girl that is manipulating you, but it doesn't give a fuck about you, but it's so beautiful, but you want to be in a real relationship, but you can't control it. She doesn't want you, and you can't do anything against that, for that. So why would you give a fuck about your emotions if she has no emotions, basically, right? Um, so yeah, everything is the energy, and if the market is an energy and the market has no emotions, you attract certain things when you're on the same frequency, and you put yourself on the same frequency when you also have no emotions. That's a little bit of more experimental, spiritual explanation for it. But yeah, just bro, cut them off. The market doesn't give a fuck about you. Compared with a girl, what would you do if a girl doesn't give a fuck about you? You don't give a fuck about her too, right? You put no effort or emotions into her. That's the exact you should do with the market. 4. As a trader, you need to perceive opportunities available, not the threat of pain. Yeah. The trader is a risk taker. I am a risk taker. You are going to be a great risk trader. I'm sure of it. And we as risk traders just wait for our opportunities. And the worst thing that can happen if you're just looking for opportunities is to um, kind of like shove them all away, you know? Trying to make them so bad, these opportunities. Just say, oh, but this and this and this is not exactly, and this and this and this, but I lost the last 3 trades, and this could also be a loser because this looks exactly like the same trade. You cut your opportunities off, and this is the worst thing that can happen as a trader because you are going to miss out on setups, you are going to miss out on progress, and the worst thing is you are taking a big backstep of your trading mind. Um, yeah, this is just an overall thing that we need to take our opportunities, and we can't allow ourselves to feel any type of threat when there is no threat, basically. You know, the market is not a threat, and we just can't be on this level where we think about the threats of it, okay? If you have your edge, you play your edge. If you don't have your edge, you don't play your edge. It's just simple as that, and this is all you need to know. Moving on to 5. Know and understand in no certain terms of source of the threat. It's not the market. Yeah, exactly what I'm preaching the whole time. The threat does not come from the market itself, it comes from you. Be aware of that, and yeah, the girl, you know. 6. Is the information inherently threatening, or are you simply experiencing the effect of your own state of mind reflected back to you? Exactly. If you think that something is, it just, bro, if you think about any scenario in your life, right, and you tell yourself the worst things like, okay, I'm going to be last in this competition, or my team is going to lose. It's so likely, and it pretty much always happens that you wait, that you lose. Cause you basically preach that, okay? You put your mind into the worst state of scenario, and you will also put your unconscious mind in the same state of scenario, and your unconscious mind does 99% of your work that is going on in your mind, right? So with that energy, you are guaranteed to lose, okay? And it's the same thing in the market. And it's reflecting back, right? Your unconscious mind in the market is straight up, it's like a mirror, right? The market is a mirror, basically, and it just shows you every single flaw that you have, and it shows you every emotion that you have, and your whole subconscious minds. You can tell yourself, but I'm not scared. I can take the trade. But the market will show you if your subconscious mind is not on the same level. So make sure that you, as a person, and you really believe, okay, you really believe in your edge, and you really believe that you're not afraid of the market, because there is no point of being afraid, right? You also need to notice in your subconscious mind, just not trying to be the tough guy and say things that are not true, even though you want them to be true. But this has a lot of work to do, and this is something you won't probably learn in a week, right? You won't sit tomorrow on the market and be like, okay, I'm not scared. It won't be like that, but if you do it over and over again and really always put in your mind that there's no point of like taking the market and the information that it's giving you as a threat, then there's no way why you should feel fear in the market. So do it over and over again, tell it yourself, think about that, and over the time, the fear will eliminate itself, and you'll be so confident in the market and your edge that you are laughing and can't even believe that you were that scared of the market at one point in your life. Moving on to 7. Your last trades were losses. This is a scenario, okay? Um, for example, to put all that a little bit more in A scenario, let's say your last trades were losses, now the trades feel risky. So risky, in fact, that you start questioning wherever this is really a signal. As a result, you start gathering information to support why this trade probably won't work. Also has a lot of to do with the subconscious mind. It's just the human psychology that is questioning everything bad happening. And yeah, if your last trades were losers and you're on the biggest losing streak, you won't want to take any more trades. Even though it looks like your exactly perfect setup, but the last couple of free setups that you take, let's say, were also losses and they look like that. So you will start questioning yourself, your edge, and you will look for different type of signals to do not take this trade. Let's say you never traded when there were red folders, right? Like news. But today there is no red folder, but there are like a couple of orange folders, and you see that, and you be like, oh, okay, yeah, this looks like my edge, but the last couple of were losses, and there are like a lot of orange folders, like medium volatile news, so I probably won't take this trade, but it's a perfect trade. You enrich yourself from your edge, okay? And let's say the worst thing that can happen is that the trade works out. Oh no, actually, it's not the worst. Because when the trade works out, you will feel like, oh fuck, okay, I should have taken that trade. Right? It will get you on the right path again, kind of. But when the trade does not work out, and you were right about not taking the trade, you will think you're right, and that's a big problem. Because you in your mind think you did the right play there to not follow your edge, and this is horrendous. So moving on to 8, were you perceiving what the market was making available or perceiving what was in your mind reflected back to you? Yeah, the mirror, okay? From this episode, the biggest thing you can say is the market is a mirror and it reflects every subconscious thought in your mind and every fear and emotion that you have. So perceive it, okay? Acknowledge it, and I was telling you how to work on it. And this is all you have to do. You have to work on it, okay? You have to work on your emotions and you have to work on your fear, especially fear and pain that you feel when you lose. I'm not saying just turn them completely off because we're at the end of the day all humans and we can't live without emotions, but make sure and work that you won't act on them. Not on the same day, but also in the future, right? If you lose the trade now, work that you tomorrow go in with a new mindset. Okay? And don't let this lose control of you. With that being said, thanks for watching and see you in the next episode.